So you've bought your camera and a couple of lenses. Now I want to introduce you to my favourite piece of kit. I truly believe that this is something that will revolutionise your photography more than anything else you can buy once you've got your camera and lenses. It's one of these babies. Tripod. Now, I can probably hear some of you starting to groan already, but let me just tell you the benefits. First and foremost, the obvious one is it'll hold your camera nice and steady, so your camera won't wobble during shots. They're a fantastic aid to composition because it allows you to set up a shot, and then once it's done, so long as you don't touch the tripod, you never have to worry about the composition again. You won't even have to look through the camera when you take the shot. And finally, they slow you down. Now that sounds a bit of a weird thing to say possibly, but the fact that it slows you down lets you think about your camera settings. How much depth of field do you want? Which aperture are you going to use? Do you want a fast shutter speed or a slow shutter speed? Let's set up a shot here. Now I've already kind of positioned the tripod. I've cheated. I've already chosen a composition and locked it in place. And actually all I've had to do is put the camera on like that. Job done. I'm just going to check it to make sure. I'm going to choose where I'm going to focus, which is actually on those shiny rocks over there. That's pretty good. Now the next thing is I can look at the little grid display in the viewfinder and check my horizon. There's nothing worse than a picture of the sea with a wonky horizon, is there? So this slowing you down is really great. Little adjustment there, and now I know that the horizon's nice and level. Check my exposure. I'm shooting into the sun, so I'm actually going to overexpose it a little bit. Not as much as that though. Here we go, and I don't even have to look through, and I can take the picture. That's pretty cool. I quite like that. I like that a lot actually. So there you go. There's one aspect to the tripod. Let's go and look at another one. Now, I love tripods so much, I've got two of them. This is my day-to-day running around lightweight tripod, and this baby here is my heavy duty. I use that in the studio and I use it on commercial shoots. I also use it out in places like this if I've got something big and heavy on the tripod. This lens here weighs an absolute ton, and that's why the lens is mounted to the tripod, not the camera. So let's look back at what is so great about keeping a camera steady. Well, suppose you were going to do some night photography like this. This is a 20-second exposure. There's no way on the planet you could hold your camera still with your hands for 20 seconds without getting what's called camera shake. That's little movements of the camera, and that makes your whole picture go blurry. Big long lenses suffer from camera shake very badly, and that's why I use this heavy tripod with this heavy lens. So let's just do a little bit more with the tripod. I said that it's great as a compositional aid. Well, down here we've got some rocks and a little bit of water and surf just sort of coming in and rocking around them. I think they look absolutely fantastic. Long lenses have a narrow field of view, and this one has a very narrow field of view. I don't want to go down there and get wet either. So I can use that narrow field of view, set up my composition on those rocks, which I've already done. I'm ready to take the picture when the light comes right. I want to see a bit of the water moving. So I'm going to set a slow shutter speed. I'm down to 1/10 of a second shutter speed here. So I've set a very narrow little aperture. Why I've set a slow shutter speed is I want to see the water move a bit, but the rock being nice and still. So my shot's all locked off on my super heavy tripod, and all I have to do is wait for the light to come right and take the picture. Everything's ready. I may have to adjust the exposure a little bit, but in a minute or two, I think we're going to have some sun on those rocks. Here it is. You see, that took about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes of enjoying the view. Right, my shot's locked off. I'm in tight on the rocks. All I've got to do is just wait for a second for a wave to come up, and there it goes. There was 2 clicks because I had the mirror locked up as well to make sure there was no chance of movement. As you can see, I think that's quite a nice picture. That just would not be possible without a tripod. I think they're wonderful, wonderful devices, as you can probably tell. Hopefully some of my enthusiasm has rubbed off on you.